All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be breaking down Brant Mensor's incredible book, Designing Momentum. And really, the whole idea is this. How do you stop feeling so stuck, so overworked, and just overwhelmed? And how do you start building some massive success? Not from some huge, life-altering event, but from the small, everyday moments. If you've ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels, this one's for you. The book kicks off with this absolute killer of a question. And wow, it hits home, right? We're all caught up in this constant blur of activity. It feels like we're doing so much, but it just leads to burnout, not a breakthrough. So, what's going wrong here? What's the glitch in the system? Let's figure it out. So, according to the book, the problem isn't that we're lazy or not trying hard enough. Not at all. It's that our focus is completely in the wrong place. We're often totally absent from our own lives. Kind of like we're ghosting ourselves, you know? Our minds are everywhere, but here and now. And here and now is the only place we can actually make a change. And this all comes down to a concept the book calls mental time travel. It's this tricky thing our brain does to trap us. We're either stuck in the past, replaying regrets, getting haunted by all the what-ifs, or we're rocketing into the future, worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened and getting paralyzed by anxiety. Either way, we're being robbed of the present moment, which is the only place you can actually build momentum. And then you've got this other culprit, the myth of multitasking. We tell ourselves we're being so efficient, but what's really happening? Our brain is just frantically switching back and forth, like a non-stop pickleball match. The book calls this a moment thief. It just completely drains our focus, shatters our flow, and pretty much sabotages any real chance of moving forward. Okay, so if mental time travel and multitasking were out, what's the answer? Well, the book says we have to start with a really crucial mindset shift. We have to completely let go of this popular idea that success comes from one single, giant, life-changing event. And this is a perfect example. Remember when Mumford & Sons just exploded after the 2011 Grammys? Everyone called it an overnight success. But that was a total mirage. The reality? They had been on the road, relentlessly touring for 4 years before that, building their momentum one small show, one song, one fan at a time. That's how real success is built, by stacking up those small, consistent moments. And this is where we get to the heart of it all, a concept the book calls momentum. See, in physics, momentum is just mass times velocity. But in our lives, momentum is built from our actions and our decisions. Every single moment, no matter how tiny it seems, is a chance to generate that energy that pushes us from where we are to where we actually want to go. I love this metaphor because it just makes it so clear. Think about those coin pusher games at the arcade, right? Every time you truly show up and own a moment, it's like dropping another quarter into the machine. Sure, most of those little moments, those little coins, don't seem to do much, but you keep dropping them in, and eventually, one of them is going to be the one that pushes that whole pile of winnings right over the edge. Okay, so this sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How do we own a moment? Well, the book gives us this fantastic, super practical tool. It's a simple little framework, and it's called BUMP. BUMP stands for belonging, understanding, meaning, and purpose. These are the 4 ingredients you can consciously bring into any interaction, any moment, to instantly create momentum and turn something ordinary into something pretty extraordinary. So let's break them down real quick. So first up, B is for belonging. This is the foundation, the starting point. When people feel like they truly belong, their defenses just drop. They feel safe, they feel seen, they feel valued, and that's absolutely essential for any kind of real connection. Next up, U is for understanding. And this goes way beyond just nodding and saying, uh-huh. It's about building a real bridge of comprehension. You know, truly getting the nuances and trying to see the world through their eyes, even if it's just for a second. Then we have M for meaning. Now, this is where it gets really personal. This is where you connect the moment to what the book calls your non-negotiable values. When you link what's happening to what is deeply and authentically important to you, the moment suddenly has real weight. It has personal significance, and that's what fuels your motivation. And finally, P is for purpose. This is the secret sauce that gives all that energy a direction. Purpose takes the connection, the understanding, and the meaning you just created, and it aligns it all with a bigger, shared goal. It's the step that turns a really powerful moment into actual, tangible progress. Now, let's be real, some moments have way more natural energy than others. And the book has this really powerful idea for how to spot and harness those super emotional moments, the good and the bad, and use them as these massive catalysts for change. It's called an OGRE, an overwhelming gut reaction of emotion. And I mean, what a perfect acronym, right? Because these moments can feel, well, monstrous. They can feel scary, but they hold an incredible amount of power. So an ogre is one of those intense emotional experiences that can literally shift your entire belief system. We're talking about a huge promotion or a deep personal betrayal. Think about Nelson Mandela walking out of prison or Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple. These are pivot points. They're raw, they're intense. And the book's big idea is that if you can learn to oversee them instead of just reacting to them, you can create a massive, undeniable shift in your life's momentum. Okay. So we've talked about how to use bump for the small moments and how to harness ogres for the big ones. But what does it all add up to? Well, the final part of the book connects this daily practice to the ultimate payoff, designing a legacy. The book introduces this just incredibly powerful idea called the second life. Your first life, well, that's your time here on Earth. But your second life, your legacy, that only ends the very last time another human being speaks your name. Wow. That really reframes what it means to leave an impact, doesn't it? And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. Your legacy isn't about the stuff you collect or what you achieve just for yourself. The length and the impact of your second life is directly tied to how much momentum you created for other people. A true legacy is all about how you empowered and propelled others forward. So that brings us to the final question, the one question this entire blueprint is really designed to help you answer. And it's not about some grand 5-year plan. It's about right now, in your very next conversation, your next email, your next meeting. What momentum will you create today?